Yeah, it's good. I think there's one in Milpitas. Not used to be anyway. I don't know if it's still there.
Mm. What, you're not going to let me put the iPad there? Come here.
Does it sound like it's coming over the system?
Huh? Yeah.
To our friends on Zoom, can you hear me play guitar?
Yes, we can hear it.
It's coming through?
Yes, it's nice and clear.
Oh my gosh, what a blessing. We figured it out.
Oh,
The button
good.
that was supposed to be in was out on the
Whatever works.
thing over here. So that's what that was. Whew. Amazing. Okay. It is 6:30, so we are going to get started.
You mean 7:30?
7:30. Time is an illusion. Numbers are made up. We are going to get started this Shabbat. So let's take a moment to plant our feet on the ground. If you're on a couch, perhaps you don't want to do that. That's okay. But just to feel planted and grounded in the moment. And let's take a deep breath together. In and out. And let's keep that Shabbat calm with us. We are going to begin with a nigun to help us get into the Shabbat spirit. If I can find my, there we go. Yada da 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 da, yada da 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 da, yada da 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 da, yada da da da, yada da 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 da da, yada da 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 da da. Yada da 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 da, yada da 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 da, yada da 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 da. Yada da 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 da, yada da 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 da, yada da 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 da, yada da da da, yada da 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 da da. Yada da 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 da, yada da 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 da, yada da 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 da, yada da da da, yada da 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 da, yada da 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 da, yada da 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 da, yada da 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 da. We continue welcoming Shabbat with the lighting of Shabbat candles. It's my pleasure to invite Sarah Granis and Jerry Ann Smith to help us light the Shabbat candles.
The meaning of the Sabbath is to celebrate time rather than space. 6 days a week, we live under the tyranny of things of space, and on the Sabbath, we try to become attuned to holiness and time. It is a day on which we are called upon to share in what is eternal in time, to turn from the results of creation to the mystery of creation, from the world of creation to the creation of the world. Rabbi Abraham Joseph Herschel. Watch your fingers. We're having fun. This way. There you go. There you go. Okay. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. We continue on page 132 with a Kabbalat Shabbat psalm. It's funny because usually when we sing the words Or Zarua Lat Tzadik Ul Yishrei Lev Simcha, which means light shall be sown for the righteous, I usually associate it with dark times when we are yearning for light because all we want is light because everything is dark. And we recently have actually experienced that shift to light. I'm not such a huge fan of the waking up earlier situation. I still have not gained that extra hour of sleep that I had lost earlier. But to have light both in the morning and in the evening is an exciting feat. So as we sing these words, let us think about the gratitude that we have, this extra piece of gratitude that this is the first Shabbat since daylight savings where we can return to light that is sown for us, the righteous. Ya-da-da, ya-da-da, ya-da-da. We are on page 138 as we continue with the words of Lecha Dodi. Lecha dodi likrat kalai, alalai, 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 P'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kalai, alalai, 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 P'nei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor v'dibur echad, Hishmi'anu el ha-meyuchad. Adonai echad u'shmo echad, l'shemu tiferet v'litzila. Lecha dodi likrat kalai, alalai, 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 P'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kalai, alalai, 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 P'nei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, ki hi mekor habracha. Merosh mikedem nesucha, sof ma'aseh b'machshavat tchila. Lecha dodi likrat kalai, alalai, 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 P'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kalai, alalai, 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 P'nei Shabbat nekabela. Please rise in all the ways you're able. Boi v'shalom ateret bala, gam besimcha uv'tzohala, toch emunei am segula, boi chala, boi chala. Lecha dodi likrat kalai, alalai, 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 P'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kalai, alalai, 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 P'nei Shabbat nekabela. We continue on page 146 with the words of Baruch Hu. Please remain standing. Yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Yai lai 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 lai. Please be seated. On page 149 at the bottom of the page. This is an hour of change, literally. Within it, we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it, we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aravim. We're on the next page for the words of Ahavat Olam, singing of God's love for us. Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha ahavta, Amcha ahavta. Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadeta, otanu limadeta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shochbenu, ufkumenu nasiach bechukecha, v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha, uv'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed, ki hem chayenu, ve'orech yameinu, uvahem nege yomam v'layla, nege yomam v'layla, ve'ahavatcha al tasir, mimenu le'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael, ohev amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha uvechol nafshecha uvechol meotecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha uvlechtecha b'derech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. We're on page 159. At the very, very bottom. Salvation is the Jews' victory over human limitations, ignorance, or insensitivity. It is the conquest of sinfulness, of the evils resident within the self: pride, selfishness, hate, lust, cynicism, the deliberate rejection of goodness and truth. As we begin to approach our Passover season, we think about the ways that each of us has left Egypt. We're supposed to experience the Passover holiday as though each and every one of us was slaves in Egypt and was personally freed. And this theme of victory over human limitations is just that. Who is Pharaoh if not an embodiment of ego and of greed and of perhaps selfishness or lust or pride? And perhaps we don't have somebody named Pharaoh in our lives, but perhaps we experience that in our own lives, whether from others or for ourselves. And so we think about what it looks like to be free, to experience freedom from each of those. We turn to page 158 for the words of Mi Chamocha. Ya la la ya la 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 ya la la ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la la ya la 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 ya la 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 la. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, nora tehila tosei fele, nora tehila tosei fele. Malechutecha ra'u v'necha bokeh lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, ze'eli anu ve'amru, ze'eli anu ve'ameru, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Ya la la ya la 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 ya la la ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la la ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 la. We turn to the next page for the words of Hashkivenu, asking God for peace and rest, and a restful peace and a peaceful rest. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leShalom, V'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. us. Guide us in wisdom, compassion, and trust. Hashkiveinu Adonai, Eloheinu leShalom, V'hamiteinu Shomreinu leChaim. Save us for the sake of your name. Shield us from hatred, sorrow, and pain. Hashkiveinu Adonai, Eloheinu leShalom, V'hamiteinu Shomreinu leChaim. 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 We now come to the tefillah, the core part of our service. It's my pleasure to invite all of you to rise in the ways you are able. And we turn to page 164 for the words of Adonai Sfatai. Adonai Sfatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, ve'Konei Hakol, ve'Zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, u'Mevii Geula Livnei V'neihem, Lema'an Shemo be'ahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshia u'Magen. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh hakol atah Rav le'Hoshia. Mashiv haruach u'morid hagashem. Mechalkeo chayim bechesed, Mechayeh hakol berachamim rabim. Somech noflim v'rofei cholim, u'matir asurim, u'mekayem emunato, l'shenei afar. Michamocha ba'al gevurot, u'mido melach, melech meimit u'mechayeh, u'matzmiach Yeshua, v'ne'eman atah l'hachayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, mechayeh hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom yihallelu selah. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. Please take a moment for your own silent prayer, and when your personal prayer is complete, feel free to be seated. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. Oh, say shalom. Bimromav. Oh, say shalom. Bimromav. Huya ase shalom. Huya ase shalom. Huya ase shalom. Alleluia. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. Oh, say shalom. Bimromav. Oh, say shalom. Bimromav. Huya ase shalom. Huya ase shalom. Huya ase shalom. Alleluia. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. So this week, we read from Parshat Vayakel Pikudei. So just as a reminder, where are we in this book of Exodus? So Moses was on Sinai for a really long time, 4 Torah portions after he was not on Sinai and he was near Sinai, and the Israelites got overwhelmed and they were like, Moses, go on up. And he was up there for a really long time, and then the Israelites were like, remember how we said go on up? We didn't mean like forever. What are we going to do? Moses isn't here. And so they build a golden calf, right, which Moses was a huge fan of. God was too. They were celebrating. They were dancing around it too. Obviously not. They were really mad. And Moses, carrying 2 tablets, decides that he actually was going to make 4 tablets. He breaks them in half. It's some suggest actually it's not just half, but in a million shards. He was really, really angry. And then he has to regroup. And he and God do some regroupings, being outside of the the kahal, out of all of the people. And then after regrouping, they go back up the mountain. And it turns out God has some more rules that he has for the Jewish people. And we hear about that in Parshat Vayakhel Pikudei. This is the second to last Torah portion of Exodus, just to help us keep in mind where we are in the Torah. So, similar to what we read last Shabbat, the Torah portion is filled with instructions on the things that they will be needing for the tabernacle, or the portable sanctuary, and all that goes in it. And so we read about the materials, and we read about the chochmei lev, or those with the wisdom in their hearts, who will be making these materials. And line after line, paragraph after paragraph, this Torah portion is just filled with essentially to-do lists of all the things that need to be done for the tabernacle. And then, with all of those to-do lists, we find this verse here. Sheshet yamim ta'aseh melacha, uvayom hashvi'i yihyeh lachem kodesh Shabbat, Shabbaton, la'Adonai, kol ha'oseh vo melacha yumat. On 6 days, work may be done, or work will be done. You will do work on 6 days. But on the 7th day, you shall have a Sabbath of complete rest, holy to Adonai. And whoever does work on it shall be put to death. What does Shabbat and rest have to do with the building of the tabernacle? And by the way, didn't we just receive almost this exact commandment last Shabbat? What is going on here? Earlier in the service, as we lit the Shabbat candles, Sarah read a wonderful reading for us by Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel. Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel was an American rabbi who was known for his incredible justice work, having marched alongside Martin Luther King Jr. in the 1960s, as well as for the impactful books that he wrote. The quote that we heard earlier and the one that I'm about to share in just a moment come from his book called The Sabbath. He wrote, "Judaism is a religion of time, aiming at the sanctification of time. Judaism teaches us to be attached to holiness in time, to be attached to sacred events, to learn how to consecrate sanctuaries that emerge from the magnificent stream of a year. The Sabbaths are our great cathedrals. And our Holy of Holies is a shrine that neither the Romans nor the Germans were able to burn, a shrine that even apostasy cannot easily obliterate." According to Heschel, Shabbat is not just a time where we're not doing things. Our Jewish calendar calls for us to pause and notice the gift of time that we have been given, not only a few times a year or once a year, and not only just once a month, but every single week. In our secular world, we think of time as something that we need to fill, focusing on just how little of it we have and how many things that we want to accomplish in such little time. On Shabbat, we are reminded that the time we have, while often limited in quantity, has potential for unlimited quality. Through the special rest and prayer and reflection and intentional seeking of sacredness that takes place on Shabbat, we are meant to notice, experience, and appreciate our world with time as the measurement. As we live out our days, we are constantly filling them with to-do lists and obligations and plans and new clubs and groups and obligations. I already said again, but it feels so heavy sometimes. But when we do this without also creating the time for rest and reflection, we're depriving ourselves the opportunity to stop and to breathe and to clear our heads and to take care of ourselves and to notice how we are doing and to reset things that improve our experience of the time that we have on this earth. And it takes up time that we already feel that we don't have. Now, this isn't to say that we shouldn't also be doing worthwhile work. We shouldn't be doing all of these things that we are putting on our to-do list. The tabernacle still needed to be built, right? But they are not mutually exclusive. You cannot have 7 days a week of working on something, no matter how important it is. The Sabbaths are our great cathedrals, Heschel wrote. And as I read that sentence, I imagine the breathtaking high ceilings that can both cause everything said to echo and emanate through the room, and also allow for chilling silence, just like we have when we pray together and when we pray privately. I imagine the stained glass windows that cause things that seem ordinary to have new colors, just like we do when we have the time to notice and reflect and appreciate. I imagine the oil lamps that show us the way to where we want to go, like the guidance, support, and love that we can find from those that we spend Shabbat with, and that we can find from within ourselves. And I notice the beauty and awe of time in Shabbat, even if they are just moments captured here and there. Something that will never actually be fully captured by words or art or buildings. And all of a sudden, the rest of the Parsha begins to fall into place. What does Shabbat have to do with the tabernacle? Moses tells the Israelites of all that needs to be in the tabernacle according to God's commandments, of the tent and its covering and its clasps and its planks and its bars, its posts, its sockets, the ark and its poles and the cover of the ark and the curtain for the screen and the table and its poles and all of its utensils and the bread of display and the lampstand for lighting and its furnishings and its lamps and the oil for the lighting and the altar of the incense and its poles and the 7 maids of milking, and so on and so forth. The list seems as though it goes on and on and on. But these are not just any vestments or posts or oil lamps or sockets or screens. These are meant to build the holiest place on earth at that time. Before any of the Chochmei Lev, those wise of heart, can begin to even think about starting the holy to-do lists that have been given to them, they need time to clear their head, to reflect, to connect to sacredness. They need to soak in the holiness of time. They need to observe Shabbat. And how many of us constantly find ourselves pulled to just jump in and get things done? It sometimes feels easier to quickly make a decision and move forward, and especially when we are overwhelmed by the size of our task or the length of our to-do list or the uncontrollable nature of our calendar and how it fills up. Sometimes it feels like the only way to avoid becoming paralyzed by our to-do lists and our calendars is by jumping straight into getting it done, so that we don't have to think too much about all the things that has to get done. Yet, this idea of rest and reflection before and during these intense periods is so important that we receive the commandment to rest on Shabbat 2 Torah portions in a row. I like to think that God felt a need to repeat regularly for emphasis When we are overwhelmed, we are not always great at listening. Theoretically, I've never experienced that myself, but I've heard it a time or two. We needed to hear. The people needed to hear. The Chochmei Lev needed to hear. And today, we need to hear that we are commanded to rest even amidst our busiest times, even amidst our longest to-do lists and our busiest time of year. And if that doesn't happen, it may feel like a spiritual death. How many of us have experienced that burnout? Shabbat is commanded for us, even amidst overwhelm, even amidst holy overwhelm, when the work that we're doing is worthwhile. So, for all of us here today, whether you are with us on Zoom or on live stream or here in this room, let's take a moment and pat ourselves on the back. We just gave ourselves even the smallest amount of honoring time in Shabbat by being here this evening. And as we go on this Shabbat, let us search for the ways that we can soak in even more holiness from our cathedral in time, from our Shabbat. Can ye hear at Zon? May this be God's will. With words of Torah on our hearts, we think of those who are in need of healing, healing of body, healing of spirit, healing of mind. If you are with us virtually, please feel free to share their name in the chat or to somebody else in the room with you. And if you are in person with us and you would like to share a name in your heart or aloud as my hand passes over your section, please feel free to do so.
Sherry King, Ann Hodis, Zelda Breslow, Greg King, and myself.
Cheryl Smith, Adrian Brown, Craig Spiegel, and Bruce Baldwin. My sister Jeannie, Ellen, and Jeremy.
We'll pause a moment in case anybody is still typing in the chat. With all the names that we've said aloud, those we've typed in the chats, and those that we keep in our hearts, we turn to page 371 for the words of Misha Berach. Misha Berach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of We now come to Aleinu on page 586. Please rise in all the ways you are able. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד. Please be seated. We take a moment to think of those who are no longer with us on this earth, but remain with us in our memories of them and the stories we tell of their lives and in the way that they impact the way we walk this earth. This Shabbat, we are remembering those whose yard sites have occurred this past week. Please rise as your loved one's name is read. Ruth Basley, remembered by Jackie Basley. Iris Ben Bassett, mother of Nancy Home. Jacob Brzezinski, remembered by Hannah Brzezinski. Lester Cohen, father of Jeffrey Cohen. Sam Eagle, remembered by Joe Eagle. Aaron Al-Qaim, father of Suzanne Corbett. Dora Ellman, remembered by Steve Ellman. Bernard Katz, father of Cheryl Cohen. Cy Keyser, father of Stanley Keyser. Marvin Samosky, brother of Jack Samosky. And Leanne Vermont, husband of Clara Vermont. We now invite all who are observing the first year of mourning to rise at this time. And now we rise as a community with our mourners as we turn to page 598 for the words of the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitzgadal v'yitzkadash shmei Rabbah, be'alma divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon u'vyomechon uv'chaye dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uv'yizman kariv v'imru, amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam u'lalmei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal, shmei dekudsha brichu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru, amen. Yehi shlama Rabbah min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, amen. Oseh shalom b'imramav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru, amen. Zichronam livracha, may their memories be for a blessing, to which we say, amen. Please be seated. And my apologies to Jackie. I know how to pronounce your last name, so sorry about that. It is my pleasure to invite Cindy Monroe to share words of announcement on what is going on here at Temple Beth Torah. There are lots of things.
I was going to say, everything's going on here. Okay, so we have a lot of exciting events coming between now and the end of April. So not to go on too long, please note that additional information for all of these can be found in the weekly email, on the website, or by contacting the office. There will be no Torah study this Sunday. Passover is coming soon, and the WTBT gift shop has a lovely Seder plates, toys for kids, and other Passover items. Shop online or email them. Pickups are by appointment on Sunday, March 26th, or at 6:30 p.m. on Monday, March 27th. WTBT invites you to a women's pre-Passover dessert Seder on March 27th at 7 p.m. This is an in-person only event for women ages 11 and up. The registration deadline is March 23rd. Join Rabbi Zoe for a Zoom-only adult learning session all about the Omar on Wednesday, March 29th at 7 p.m. to learn about counting the Omar. Register online to receive the link. On Sunday, April 2nd at 12:30 p.m., TBT member Abe Masliak will speak about his journey to the displaced persons camp where he was born. Exodus and Displacement, a Passover retelling, will be a multi-access program. Register online by March 31st. Join us for the second night of Passover, Thursday, April 6th at 6 p.m. for our community Seder. Register online by March 24th. Contact the office for scholarship information. Our Interfaith Yom HaShoah program, Telling Lost Stories, will be held on April 23rd at 6:30 p.m. and feature our Holocaust Torah scroll and its story. This will be a multi-access program with a registration deadline of April 21st. Remember that Monday, April 3rd at 9 a.m. is the deadline to order from Wise & Sons Passover food pop-up on Wednesday, April 5th. Donations to support earthquake victims in Turkey will be collected through March 27th. Cash or checks made out to TBT can be dropped off in the tzedakah box in the social hall or left in the office. You can also donate online, choose the Social Action Fund, and write JDC in the additional remarks section. Contributions will be pooled and sent to the Joint Distribution Committee to aid their work. Thank you to Troop 153 Scouts for running AV, and to Ann Anderson and Janine Charlton for representing the worship committee tonight.
And thank you to Cindy for all the work that she has done for our community, also for sharing those wonderful words of announcement. Cindy is our education chair and also is a incredible gift to our community with all of the work that she has done on our communications team and on our and regarding IT. So she is the reason we have live stream tonight. And so if you are on live stream tonight, shout out to your computer or your TV or your phone or whatever you're attending services on. Thanks, Cindy. We're so grateful. So we are going to continue on with that theme of gratitude by saying some words of blessing. In the words of our Gan Sameach children, when we are saying blessings, we are saying, I am thankful! And to hear a choir of 4- and 3-year-olds yell that is just the best part of anybody's week, I would assume. So if we are going to start off with a family blessing, if you are in the room with somebody who you consider family, feel free to reach out to them. Physically or emotionally, spiritually, look lovingly at them. There we go, great. And if you are not in the room with somebody who you are wanting to send this blessing to, I encourage you to close your eyes and to hold them in your heart And we hope that they feel this blessing. May God bless you and keep you. May God shine God's face upon you and be gracious to you. May God's face turn to you and grant you peace, to which we all say, Amen. Amen. Beautiful. We continue with Kiddush and Motzi. For those who are in person, just a reminder, our Kiddush cups and our challah and any kind of food is compostable. If you have some plastic for some reason that's 1, 2, or 5, that goes in recycle. And if you have something that's other than that, which hopefully we don't have too much of that because we're trying to decrease what we put in the landfill, that goes into the trash. And if you are in person, or if you are on Zoom and you wanted to grab your grape juice, that was your 15 seconds to go grab that. So hopefully you've got it. We are on page 123 for the words of Kiddush. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila lemikra'e kodesh zecher letziat mitzrayim ki vanu v'charta ve'otanu kidashta mikol hamim ve'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. L'chaim. And for those who are in person, when you grab your grape juice of choice or your grape drink of choice, light is grape juice, dark is wine. Make sure you grab what you were intending. And we move on to the motzi. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'te'avon. We are going to conclude with some more singing about peace, because we can always use some more. Od yavo shalom aleinu, od yavo shalom aleinu, od yavo shalom aleinu ve'al kulam. Od yavo shalom aleinu, od yavo shalom aleinu, od yavo shalom aleinu ve'al kulam. Salam aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, salam, salam aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, salam. Od yavo shalom aleinu, od yavo shalom aleinu, od yavo shalom aleinu ve'al kulam. Od yavo shalom aleinu, od yavo shalom aleinu, od yavo shalom aleinu ve'al kulam. Shabbat shalom, everyone. Shabbat shalom to our friends on Zoom. Shabbat shalom to our friends on live.
Shabbat shalom, everybody.
Shabbat
Shabbat
shalom.
Or
shalom.
Shabbat shalom to our friends in person.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat
Shabbat
shalom.
shalom.
Goodbye. Shalom, Sonia.
Bye.